If you're looking for an awesome product at a great price, be sure to check out the link in the description. In El Salvador, a seismic shift in the political landscape has triggered a chorus of condemnation and dire warnings. Opposition leaders and activists are sounding the alarm, asserting that democracy in the Central American nation is now in peril. This follows a controversial decision by the country's Congress to abolish presidential term limits, effectively clearing the path for President Nayib Bukele to seek indefinite re-election. The news has sent shockwaves, with many drawing parallels to Venezuela's descent into authoritarianism. Speaking out late Thursday, Congresswoman Marcela Villatoro didn't mince words. She declared, "Democracy in El Salvador has died," a stark assessment delivered as the legislature, where Bukele's Nuevas Ideas party holds a commanding 90% majority, approved the contentious constitutional reform by a significant margin of 57 votes to 3. Villatoro accused her fellow lawmakers of delivering a death blow to the nation's democratic institutions during the late-night session. Her words carried a note of foreboding, as she warned that those celebrating the move today would come to regret it tomorrow, drawing a chilling comparison to the unraveling of Venezuelan democracy. The Congresswoman elaborated, "When all the orders come from one person and everything revolves around one single person, democracy no longer exists. And when you lose democracy, it takes years to get it back." While opposition figures voiced their disapproval, supporters of Bukele, a 44-year-old president known for his savvy use of social media and who once jokingly referred to himself as the world's coolest dictator, hailed the reforms. The changes also encompass an extension of presidential terms from 5 to 6 years and a shift of the 2029 presidential election to 2027, along with the elimination of the election's second round. Susi Callejas, a lawmaker from Nuevas Ideas, took to social media to express her views, stating that the Constitution isn't untouchable, but the will of the people is, and that the people are at the core of the decisions being made. Bukele, a prominent ally of Donald Trump in Latin America, first won election in 2019 and secured re-election last year. This came after a surge of public support for his hardline crackdown on gangs. The approach has seen a significant drop in homicide rates. However, the crackdown, which has resulted in 2% of the adult population being incarcerated and the suspension of due process, has drawn sharp criticism. Bukele's concentration of power has become a source of alarm for opposition politicians and human rights organizations. Juanita Goibertus, America's director at Human Rights Watch, likened El Salvador's actions to Venezuela's 2009 referendum, which eliminated term limits under then-President Hugo Chavez. 16 years later, Chavez's successor, Nicolas Maduro, remains in power, even after appearing to lose the July 2024 election. Goibertus warned that El Salvador is traveling down the same path as Venezuela, a path that starts with a leader who uses his popularity to concentrate power, and it ends in dictatorship. In a rare interview with international media last year, Bukele had stated that he would not seek re-election, citing the constitutional prohibition, which has now been removed. He also mentioned an agreement with his wife, implying that his current term would be his last. However, many remain skeptical of his commitment. Carlos Fernando Chamorro, a prominent Nicaraguan journalist forced into exile due to his country's democratic decline, summed up the sentiment on social media, tweeting, "Welcome to the club of the authoritarian dictatorships of Maduro, Ortega, Diaz-Canel." The events in El Salvador have ignited